You want to start with a statement?
I think the statement we put out suffice for now, but I'll take any questions that and answer them as thoroughly and as openly as I possibly can.
How much can you go into the cause?
Not a whole lot. I honestly don't know much detail, but I am aware that there's a situation that these young men were a part of that don't necessarily fit into what we believe is the right way to build our program. So um, we've decided to move on.
Was it one incident involving all three, to the best of your understanding?
To the best of my understanding, here this most recent incident involved all three of them to a certain degree. Don't know a lot of details, so I don't want to talk too specific. Um, but yeah,
You recruit these guys, you want to see them do well and everything. What's it like to have to let them go, kind of the way you?
I mean these days aren't fun. Certainly, I care a great deal about these young men, and I want to see them all have success. We try to push them, and we try to talk about things that are really relevant to life that give them a chance. Um, and they don't always necessarily make great decisions, and when they don't, there's consequences to that.
Mike, when did you kind of become aware of this incident, and when did you make the decision to let the three of them go?
So, in terms of the incident itself, there was some kind of noise about something that may have happened, but it was very, very cloudy on details. And I never want to make a rush to judgment. I want to make sure I have as much information as I can before I make a decision. And that would have been late last week. And then more information came about, I guess, when we got back late Saturday night. And we moved forward from there. And then more information more recently last night.
Is this the same incident that kept Kent out against Baylor?
It's related. Again, I don't know exactly everything that happened, so I don't want to speak ahead of the situation. I think it's still kind of being looked into, but I have enough information now to have made the decision that I made at this point.
Obviously, two of these guys were playing quite a bit. Mo a little more lately. And from just a pure numbers standpoint, this is pretty drastic for a basketball team.
Yeah, I mean,
What are you going to do? I mean, I guess the question is, what are you trying to do? Practice alone?
yeah, I mean, there's certainly some adjustments we've got to make from a basketball standpoint. But every decision I make is with a big picture in mind. This isn't just about basketball. This is about education. This is about doing things the right way and in a way that's representative of a lot of people who care about this program and this university. And my responsibility goes greater than trying to win a game in Ames on Saturday, and I'm going to always be committed to that as much as I possibly can.
How much does this set the tone for the program?
I don't know what kind of tone it sets. I mean, certainly not a good one. But this won't define us. I mean, there's been a lot of good moments in this program's history. There's been some not so good moments. This is one of the not so good moments, and it's one that together with the remaining guys, with the staff, we'll be able to, deal with, move on, and figure out how to be best for what we have moving forward.
Not trying to be trite, but you make a point of you never quit recruiting. And I guess that's a good stance because now you'll have some more recruiting to do.
Yeah, we always have more recruiting to do, and this situation kind of changes things for now. But we don't know how it's going to turn out. I mean, this is all still fresh, and so there's always opportunities to enhance or improve the roster, no matter what the situation is. And yeah, but it is the reason you always stay in tune with recruiting because you can't anticipate everything, and here we are.
Like these three players and Mike Cunningham last year, there are four guys that you brought in. Does this change the way you think about how you try to evaluate guys' character and recruiting and things like that?
I mean, I don't know about change. We feel pretty comfortable with how we recruit, the type of questions we ask. But to say that I feel like, we do things always the right way, I mean, I feel like we have a good system in place, and we try to get as much information, but you can't predict everything. I mean, and sometimes kids make tough choices, and unfortunately, they're not all public, right? And some things are dealt with behind the scenes, but when they are, we deal with them, and we deal with them when they're not public just the same. It's just you guys don't always hear about it. So We'll continue to recruit aggressively, thoroughly, and try to be as efficient as we can to make sure that our rosters has more fluidity from year to year.
How difficult is that to know everything in the recruiting process?
I mean, it's a challenge, but I don't know if it's a different challenge for us than for anybody else. And so we just have to make sure we're doing as much as we can. I do think our staff does a good job of finding out as much information as we can. You never know everything, and then when things come up, it's really about more so how you deal with them in that moment. And so we want to know everything, we don't, and then you got to figure out how to deal with things as they come up when you deal with them.
Mike, when players are in the locker room now and you told them about the situation, I mean, 4 players in 2 weeks losing death, what was kind of their reaction to this recent match of news?
I don't want to speak for them. I mean, to say that they weren't kind of thrown off a little bit because, again, I'm not sure how much people know. I don't know what's out there. I haven't done a whole lot of research on it myself, but there's not a whole lot of people left in there. And, but what I did tell them is I believe in the kids that are there. And, they only say you have to start with 5 guys. We still have 5. And so we'll go up to Ames. And the next 2 days we'll prepare to put our team in position to go try to win a game. Beyond that, the kids that aren't here anymore, we hope that this is an opportunity for them to learn and grow and be better as they move forward in their lives.
What were your meetings like with the 3 players you dismissed?
They were pretty. I'm not that emotional. I mean, they weren't very emotional. They were pretty matter of fact. Expressed my disappointment and frustration with whatever their involvement is in the situation, and that time has come for us to part ways.
How did they take the news?
I mean, I think they're hurt. I think they're upset. But again, I don't want to speak for them. And they're all kids, and I recruited all of them, and I care about them, and I still do. And I hope, like I said, that maybe there's an opportunity that they become better for having gone through this.
Just to clarify, did you inform them last night or today?
No, I talked to obviously I talked to Contravius before today about his deal when I got back Sunday, and then talked to Mike and Mo this morning.
And they're in a situation where this is a final decision, or is there any opening after a semester? How do you handle that?
I don't have a crystal ball. I would put the odds at very, very slim that any of them would return at any point.
So how does that change then preparation for a game in 2 days?
I don't know. This is another new one for me. I think I got 9 players eligible for practice. So I keep myself in shape. Maybe I'll help out a little bit. I think I got a coach in Coach Sutton who could make a jump shot back in his day, and Coach Cooper who could maybe rebound some. So maybe our assistant coaches will have a little bit more workload, but we're prepared. We're here for these kids at the end of the day, and that's our job, is to make sure that the kids here have a great experience moving forward no matter what.
From the outside, both Michael and Kent, this is kind of their second chance. For Mo, this was kind of his first thing for us to see. Was it just the severity of the reasoning that made it this way?
I don't really kind of count. I don't keep count. Kind of just like with my own son. He does something wrong today. I don't. Keeps doing the same thing. Right? We got a problem, but each situation that comes up is in and of itself a situation we got to deal with. And like I said, it's not always public what goes on, and there's been discipline before for these guys, and now it's just the time to make this decision right now for them and for our program.
How have you sensed, over the last 2 years, just in general, the turnover? How have you noticed that kind of weigh on your captains? How have the 3 of them kind of handled this?
Those guys, man, they're probably 3 of the most resilient people I've ever been around. I mean, when you consider all that they've been through from, I recruited both Thomas and Lindy at Stephen F. Austin before they signed here with Travis Ford. And I knew Cam because I recruited in Texas quite a bit. And before they get on campus, there's a new coach and teammate passed away in the summertime before school started. I mean, they've been through a ton, and FBI's here and teammates dismissed. So, to watch them kind of never waver, never questioned their commitment to the program, never changed the way they played or carried themselves, the things that they talk about or believed in. Shows that they've got a pretty good foundation for all of them, and they all have great parents, and I'm thankful that they continue to believe in what we're doing.
How much does the 9 players affect how you want this team to play? Do you have to go a little bit slower to conserve guys' energy, or have you thought about that at all yet?
Is there something smaller than micro? We talked about that last week, right? And so there's more management probably now, and here's what I'll tell you what we're gonna do. We're gonna come out with practice. We're gonna try to enjoy the opportunity to still do this, and when we have a chance to play, we're gonna try to win that game, and whatever that means it takes. If we need to play faster, and that means if we need to play faster Saturday, and that means we don't have as much legs on Wednesday, I'll figure that out on Wednesday. But if we need to play slower and guys are tired or foul trouble or whatever it is, we'll deal with it as it comes up.
You guys get your best crowd of the season on Monday. Do you worry at all about maybe the fan perception, the fan fallout to a situation like this?
I'm very sensitive to how our fans feel about our program. There's no question. This is their program. They deserve to see a product that they feel good about. They also deserve to have young men out there in the uniform that they know are about the right things. And so that's what's most important to me right now.